Oh, hey Sam, good to see you. I'm checking out the garden. I mean, I've got a lot of things growing in the garden. We got tomatoes, I've got radishes, I've got some onion sets up there. Oh, I got peppers, I got all kinds of things growing, but I'm a little disappointed right now because I got all these weeds. These weeds have grown up. I planted all of these from seeds, and somehow all of these weeds showed up too. I don't want them there, but
why don't you just pull them?
well, I could, but sometimes when you pull the weeds, well, here, let me show you. I've got this weed here, but it's right next to this tender onion, and if I pull the weeds, oh, yep, that's what I was afraid of. I pulled the weeds, but it pulled the little onion up, and this onion's not quite ready.
Pretty small still.
So yeah, so it wasn't ready. So if I just keep pulling the weeds, I'm going to be pulling up all the things that I planted, and that's not good at all. And I've got all of these weeds and just a few little tender crops. So what I'd like to do is just get rid of all the weeds, but I can't do that because it would tear up all of the radishes and my pretty tomatoes that are growing and the onions.
The hard work.
Yeah, a lot of hard work. You know, and that's kind of what Jesus was talking about in the parable for today. He had a gardener, and he went out and he sowed all the good seed. Every seed that he had was good seed. And then some weeds started cropping up, and people came to him and said, well, didn't you sow good seed? And he said, well, yes, I did. And they said, well, where did the bad seed come from? And he said, well, it must be the evil one. Yeah, must be the evil one who came and sowed all those seeds, and now we got this bad stuff growing in the garden that I don't want in the garden. And the folks said to Jesus, they said, well, do you want us to take away all of the weeds? You want us to get rid of all that? He said, well, no, because if you get rid of all the bad, you might tear up the good as well. And you don't want to do that. So he said, let them grow together, and in time, at the end, when it's time to harvest, when it's time to pick all the tomatoes and pull all the radishes and pluck up all the onions, at the harvest, first we'll get the weeds, and then after the weeds, we'll get the good crop. And we'll take the weeds and we'll burn them, but the good crop, we'll bring them in the house, and we'll have tomatoes and radishes and onions for a long time. And that's kind of the way it is with evil or bad things that happen in the world. Sometimes they happen and we don't understand. We don't know why, and we want to get rid of all the bad stuff. But in doing so, sometimes you get rid of the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so Jesus said, in the end, sometimes it's really hard to tell the difference between the bad and the good.
Until it's time to harvest.
Until it's time to harvest. Because, I mean, look at all this. There's so much green in here, I can hardly tell which is which.
Yeah, I don't know what's radishes and what's weeds.
I know, right? But at the end, I'll pull them all up, and the weeds will go one way, and the good crop will go the other way. So that's kind of the way it is at the end time.
Yeah.
God says, I'm in control, I'm in charge. Bottom line is, my garden, he's got the whole thing in his hands.
That's true.
Well, thank you for joining us in Pastor Mike's garden.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam, for coming and checking on me, because it's always good to see all these beautiful green things growing.
Beautiful crops.
And in the end, we'll figure it out. And
we'll enjoy it together.
We'll have a feast.
We will.
All right. Thanks for joining us. You take care. God bless. Bye.